Throughout history, ancient cultures across the globe have portrayed human figures with bird-like wings. In the Western world, none are more well known than a group of beings that are described in Judeo-Christian texts.
When you think about a winged human figure, you most notably think about angels. Angels as figures that intervene in human affairs. They warn us about coming events, or they intervene in a positive way.
In the Hebrew Bible's book of Genesis, angels first appear as divine beings sent to earth as messengers of God.
Angels are winged beings. Now, the church, up until about 300 AD, not once mentioned angels. From about 300 to 400 AD was when the first references of angels first entered the Bible. Before that, it was never angel, but it was always the word messenger, and often messenger from the sky.
It is their job as the heavenly court to guide the affairs of human beings, to speak into the minds of individuals. But these angels were not spiritual beings, they were physical beings. They're not of this world, and therefore they are not terrestrial, and therefore they are extraterrestrial.
Is it possible that the angels of the Bible were physical beings who came from another world? Perhaps additional clues can be found by examining a controversial text that was stricken from most versions of the Bible. Called the Book of Enoch, it describes in great detail the first angels to arrive on earth, known as the Watchers.
It is said in ancient legend that these Watchers are the ones who observe humanity and direct human affairs to influence us in their own ways.
The Watchers were said to be these rebel angels who came down from heaven to mix with mortal kind. They were said to have revealed the arts and sciences of heaven, and this allowed us the rudiments of civilization. We are told that they could fly through the air like birds or eagles.
Is it possible that the account of the Watchers described in the Book of Enoch is based on real historical events?
The Book of Enoch was a biblical story that was taken out of the Bible completely. It isn't included except for in the Coptic faith, they still include the Book of Enoch as part of their canon. But many people suggest that the reason the Book of Enoch was omitted from the Bible is because these entities hold some deeper truth.
Mainstream scholars believe the Book of Enoch was written sometime around the 3rd or 4th century BC. But the stories contained within it may be much older. And ancient astronaut theorists suggest the Watchers were first described more than 1,000 years earlier by the Sumerians.
The Sumerians were the first known civilization. They had the distinction of being the first to discover writing, agriculture, astronomy, all of these first technologies. The ancient Sumerian texts tell us that these winged figures with bird-like heads originally brought this knowledge to humanity.
The Sumerians worshipped Anunnaki, which are beings that came down from the sky. They were depicted as chimeric beings, almost like a hybrid, human and bird.
For the Sumerians, their knowledge wasn't self-derived. Their inventions, their great things were not of their own design. They were taught by the gods. The Anunnaki show human beings how to use technology, how to create this technology.
Like the Watchers, there was a specific group of the Anunnaki who were tasked with influencing human affairs.
The Sumerians also revered Apkallu, which were a little bit lesser Anunnaki beings, but very important as well. They were also birdmen figures. They had wings, feathers, and often were depicted even with beaks. Their role was to act as intermediaries between the kings and the gods.
One of the basic propositions of the ancient astronaut theory is that these birdmen signified flight. The idea was never to suggest that the Anunnaki themselves actually had wings sprouting from their back, but rather that our ancestors tried to depict that the Anunnaki had the capability of flying or of flight.